number 2, Elfi versus Storm.
I just want to thank the Twitter universe already. Someone is tweeting cute dog memes to Ben, turning him back into a dog person. That's the Ben I love. So thank you, Twitter world.
Facebook.com/StormStarcraft. We'll give the man a shout out because he's playing some good StarCraft. Taking the first game off of Elfi, going up 1-0, moving on to Belshir Vestige, a map that I hate playing on. I loathe this map. It is so narrow.
Makes it 2 of us, Ben, because I keep losing every single game against Zerg on this map. I don't really know why or how.
You know, I don't think I'm not having as many troubles against Protoss here as I am against Terran. It is just miserable to play on against Terran though, because they always put mines like right behind a choke, and then they just dance in and out of that choke, and it's like, what do you do? What do you do, Kev? You either want to run in there and you die to the mines, or you don't run in there and you die to the army.
Elfi's going to switch it up in game number 2, though. He's going to go for a gateway expand. I like that. It's something that I've been messing around with a lot as well lately. He's going to take both simulators relatively quickly. Of course, Stormy is going to scout this in time. He should not lose this Overlord, as this gate was not ridiculously quick. So he can still put the Overlord in a safe spot over here. I do want to give a shout out to the Danish Starcraft II scene though, Ben, because it's really up and coming. Of course, Baby Knight has been making a lot of noise for the last 6 to 8 months, but he's not alone anymore. Yesterday we had Bonnie qualify, which I think is super awesome for him. But they also have another Terran player, I believe, called Space Marine, who is also pretty damn good. I also saw that Ciara was playing yesterday in the qualifier. Everyone who played Warcraft 3 will definitely know Ciara. He's one of the the old school guys. They still have Thomas G as well, who call himself Cupcake these days. Don't ask me about that. I don't know which horrible trip he was when he decided to call himself Cupcake, but he's a pretty good player too. So I really like what's going on in the Danish Starcraft II scene. Seems like they're catching up with their good old Scandinavian rivals, Sweden.
Might as well give some love to our buddy Defex as well, who came and stayed with us at the house and did very well in the CSL.
Oh!
We've got Ilias Satori joining us on the set today. Hello, Stefano.
Hello, Ilias.
You looking very handsome.
Oh, you too.
I miss you so much, Ilias. I can't wait to have some alone time with you.
Maybe we'll drag Stefano out to talk to you guys a little bit at some point today.
Yes. I'm sure people would love that. But yeah, let's focus on the game, man. Let's focus on what's going on. I was a little bit distracted. We suddenly had a dog and Ilias in the studio. I would normally be distracted by either one of them, and now we have both Stefano and the dog.
Sensory overload, man. So, Storm changing up his play in reaction to what Elfi has done. He got a quick 100 gas for Zergling speed, then he stopped mining, and now he's going to just transition right back into normal stuff, making a few lings to get some of that map control. Elfi still hasn't dropped his Nexus.
Elfi wants to be careful, though, Ben, because the way that this plans out, he's not going to have an insane amount of time to actually get a proper wall off. He's really going to have to be super careful. Storm scouted everything pretty early. I actually like what he's doing here now, Ben, even though this is still bad in a way, because this also means that his Nexus is going to be super late. But if he would have dropped the Nexus first, I think he would have had an insane amount of speed links in his natural and in his base, and it would probably be dancing as the game would be over.
Yeah, it's an unenviable position right now for Elfi, but I think he is getting the best.
Yeah, this is a better position. He has to make sure that he... this is very multitasking intensive, by the way. This looks so easy, but while you're poking with these gateway units, you really have to keep your macro going at home as well. And yes, you don't have a lot to macro, but you have to get your wall off, you have to get your cannon, you have to get your second gas, and this is probably a moment to recall out.
Does he have energy for it?
Yes. He actually wants to micro. I mean, he's getting a lot of links, which is probably pretty good, because now he's forcing out even more links. Actually, Elfi's doing this very well. Oh, a little bit of lag. Hope it's not me.
Uh-oh.
Seems like it is me. No, it's recall. Bomb.
It was recall.
David Copperfield, guys, in the house.
Now you see me, now you don't, says Elfi. Manages to get back home safely. Lings will
he has a couple of seconds, Ben. A couple of seconds. All right.
Uh-oh, that's not a tight wall, but single stalker does close the gap, and it's going to take a long time for one ling at a time to kill that stalker.
So this went reasonably well for Elfi. He has a small... No, actually... You know, Ben, as good as this might look, I actually feel that this is not a good position at all for Protoss. I've been in this position a few times myself now as well. You're down 7 workers already, your natural is not up yet, you have no follow-up tag at all, and there are a ton of speed links outside of your base, which makes it hard for you to go up to 3 bases.
I was going to say it feels like a really bad position for Protoss to me, as Storm's finishing up his third. He can drone freely. He knows exactly what he's playing against. He has all the room in the world. He even has a very well-positioned Overlord in the back of Elfi's main that is going to get a full scout.
You know what would be very nice, Ben, if all Zergs in the world would just make like a gentleman's agreement with Protoss players, say like, hey, we still go up to 3 hatches, no gas, and then you guys can make gateway pressure, because then it's actually good. But since everyone is getting really quick speed, it kind of is just like the counter or like the proper way to play against this stuff, and it doesn't necessarily mean the Protoss is always going to be behind, but in a lot of situations it is. Storm is going to get a good scout off here, and I don't envy Elfi's position at all, man.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Now, Elfi is getting +1. He is throwing down the Robo. Makes me wonder if we're going to see an Immortal all-in behind this. We'll see. He's working on 4 gates, 3 gates?
It's not going to be a 9-minute, 45 seconds.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Maybe in 19.
But that army is moving out and is bringing a probe.
I
so
think it's sort of fake.
What in the world? This can't be.
No,
maybe he's going to recall again?
Yeah, he's recall. He just wants to make something happen.
This is what I call the Axel Toss push.
No, the Axel Toss push
is much worse than this.
Yeah, sentry only. He would never bring a he would never bring a probe in. Oh, shout out to Axel Toss. He had a great game against MrBitter on ladder. It was a 35-minute slugfest.
Yeah, it was real close.
All right, 10 roaches in production right now, so at least Elfi's achieving something already with this little push. You want to make sure that you don't lose the mothership core, because if you lose all those units, it's absolutely game over. He's scouting here as well. I guess he wants to make sure that there is some follow-up tech. This is a little bit frustrating, but Elfi's down so much supply, man. I mean, sometimes the supply does tell the
He's behind in every way, man. Down in workers, down in supply, behind in upgrades, and
down in tech as well,
kinda.
Sort of.
Twilight Council going down, as is the first couple of Immortals.
As long as there's a Roach Warren, it might be you're behind the tech.
Classic RotterdaM.
The occasional Roach joke. Even in Harder to Swarm, guys, we can still pull it off.
It wouldn't be a Roddycast if not for a Roach joke. Actually, a pretty good position for Elfi, managing to force field everything out. He might be... no, he's getting surrounded. Yeah. Well, if everything just trickles in slowly, he could end up doing a lot of damage.
If he takes out this hatchery, that would be really awesome, but he doesn't really have that much DPS. He does have quite a bit of force field. But I can't see this working.
Yeah, he's going to run out of energy.
Oh, actually the queen is going to die now as well to those 2 zealots. He might actually be able to kill this hatchery with all these
There's
force
no
fields.
way. No way does he get this hatchery.
Yeah, he's got what,
2 force fields left? Storm, I got to say, Storm...
No, he's got enough.
Storm could have just walked around in this time.
By now, he could have done that. He's going to get a hatch.
Oh, I cannot believe this. So Elfi managing to salvage it, picks off that base, and all of a sudden, this is a much closer game than it was a few moments ago.
This doesn't definitely mean that Elfi is ahead or anything. This is just something that he really, really needed. He's going to have 2 Immortals right now. He's going to get another Immortal soon. So he might actually does sort of follow it up with an Immortal. He's going to get +2 as well and Blink Stalkers. This is actually going to be a nasty push then. Which is actually going to be very good against Roach only. But ooh, I like what we have in production right now.
Surprisingly, 3rd base goes down for Elfi.
That is surprising. Kind of a weird game here. 12-minute 3rd base, obviously very late, but since he just took out the Zerg's 3rd base, it is not all that bad anymore.
Man, Kev, I just realized the Axel Toss push is really good.
Yeah, if you do it like that. Those forces were excellent, but as you said, Storm definitely could have walked a couple of roaches behind, but there were so many force fields that I feel that Elfi could have even dropped some force fields over here as well, but then it would have been a lot harder to pull it up.
Yeah.
Those roaches want to be careful.
Those roaches have got to be careful. Oh, wow, that's a lot of roaches. Yeah. Force field is going to chop off a bunch of them. Elfi's going to kill several for free, but he's going to lose this Nexus, I think.
Yeah, he's going to lose the Nexus, but he's going to kill a lot of roaches.
He's going to kill every roach. Time Warp is going to trap him. Force field's going down as well. Roaches may pick off a single Immortal.
Wow, nice force field by Elfi.
Wow.
Doing this so well. This was quite a mistake by Storm. Storm just threw away 20 to 25 roaches. For my opinion, absolutely nothing. If I was Elfi, you could still drop this Nexus, but I would just start attacking immediately. Elfi, do you have a wall of? No, he doesn't.
No, we do have Spire finishing, Kev, and that's a dangerous thing. 12 mutas would kill that entire army. As we do see.
You shouldn't forget, it's +2 already, and he has Blink soon. So, sure, those mutas are going to be annoying, but this is also not an extremely good position to play Mutalisk from, let's be honest. +3 on the way for Blink Stalkers. He's going to have a lot of Blink Stalkers. Elfi, of course, had the Elfi bank. If I ever had like a big savings account, which I don't, by the way, guys, but if I would ever would.
The Elfi bank, the strongest bank in Europe.
Yes, because you know it will never go bankrupt. Elfi never spends all her resources.
He's really good at saving. 12 mutas on the way for Storm, who is, I got to say, I still think this game is pretty damn even. Elfi is up in workers, behind in bases. Observer spots the mutas, so he knows exactly what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 cannons going up in the main. I really don't think this is an even game. Of course, these mutas are still going to be annoying, and they're going to drag this game out, because Elfi's probably not going to try to take a silly risk where he just moves out and loses all the probes in his main or something, and production. He doesn't want to do that, so he's probably just going to defend for a little while, but eventually he should get a much stronger army. He should get Blink Stalkers, which he already has. Then he should be able to get High Templars with Storm, maybe an Archon or 2. I don't really see how these mutas are going to deal a whole lot of damage.
Elfi's unbreakable right now. Ling run by in the third base, going to die just to the cannons and the warp in. And nothing happening in the main either, so great play here from Elfi, who is more than stabilized.
Was the first big mistake we saw all series from Storm, losing all those roaches like that. That was just a horrible trade just for that Nexus. Time-wise was beautiful by Elfi as well, though. That really helped him to catch up with the sentries and drop really good force fields. Mutas are going to fly in right here. Actually, not too many Stalkers, but Photon Overcharge is used. It's going to scare these Mutas away for now. And it also means more Stalkers will be able to be warped in.
Elfi looks so much cleaner this game than he did in the last one, and to be honest, he was in a terrible position, but he just managed to make it work.
So that's what does push.
So Storm.
You were joking about that little push, but that little push is what saves Elfi the game.
Next level meta. I didn't realize that Axel was so ahead of the curve.
73 probes right now for Elfi against 64 drones for Storm. Storm is going to get 12 more drones, but this is just with Mutalisk, you're normally guaranteed to at least deal some damage. But right now he was behind, and Elfi already had sort of the right answer. He already had Blink Stalkers, he had good upgrades, and he also had an Observer in a great position, which saw these mutas fly in. So it's going to be so hard, unless Elfi somehow ever underreacts somewhere against the Mutalisk and they suddenly fly in and kill everything.
We still have to remember that eventually Elfi has to push out. Like Storm never has to fight the army. He doesn't. He's not going to... Ooh, actually, this is a pretty good engagement with Lings on the ground and mutas in the air. Oh, and the recall! Elfi brings his whole army back, and that's going to cause Storm to get out of there. So what I'm saying here, Kev, is eventually Storm is probably going to force this to become a base race. It's just going to come down to Elfi to handle it a little bit better.
I do think that like Elfi is going to be in a situation where he can leave enough units at home, like not many, but let's say 1 Archon, a couple of cannons, and 2 High Templars per base, because in the end of the day, that's only 12 to 16 supply, and that should already be enough to scare away big Muta base trades. We'll see. Elfi is actually kind of out of position after that recall. He's taking a lot of damage here, Ben. This is the first
this is a good attack.
I want to point out what I absolutely love that Storm is doing here, Ben, is bringing an Overseer with his Muta flock. Because, of course, we all know, while these mutas are just actually taking a fight, which I didn't expect them to take.
Wow. They're doing a great job in this fight. They've thinned out the Stalkers immensely.
Oh, my God. Elfi's losing so many Stalkers.
Oh, God, my God. The mutas are so strong. I can't believe this. Storm is just going to attack right into this. Elfi trying to warp in reinforcements as quickly as possible.
Wow.
But every Stalker has fallen. Unbelievable. He didn't run around the map and look for a base trade. He just took the fight. And he won the fight, and Elfi is now in a lot of trouble. Needs some storms. Oh, there's some great storms. Oh, another good storm, another third.
Oh, but he's killing his own High Templar. He killed 2 of them. That's pretty expensive.
Yes, it was.
Don't do that at home, boys.
Thinned the muta count out substantially, but there are still 21 mutas on the map.
I can't believe that he just took that fight. Man, he could have really used the Photon Overcharge in that fight. More Link streaming in right now. And this is probably the moment where mutas are going to be extremely good. Because now Protoss is just falling apart. These cannons are going to die, which means he's going to lose a lot of stuff in the main base. Wow.
Yeah, so frustrating. Now these mutas can start picking off pylons. They can engage small packs of Stalkers. Templar Archives is in a really dangerous spot. Like, I don't know if that's enough Stalkers to fight these mutas.
I mean, with 1 High Templar there. I mean, you shouldn't forget, these Stalkers are +3. They even have 1 armor upgrade as well. It's unbelievable how poor they do against these mutas. So you would expect them to do a lot better. David Kim. More Speedlings running into the main base. He's going to need sort of a 6 Storm.
This is going to do it, man. I think Storm has just won this game.
He could have dropped a 6 Storm on all these Zerglings here, but he didn't do it. Now these Stalkers are going to die as well, and I think you're spot on, Ben. Wow, I can't believe that unfolded.
What a turnaround. There's nothing left that shoots up. The mutas are going to clean it up, and Elfi is going to be upset early in the tournament. GG Storm, the Danish Zerg. Just kind of proving your point, man, that Danish scene is really developing.